Hi, Tam here. Are eggs good for you or bad for you? This question has been around for the last 70 years, and still today in 2024, some people will tell you that eggs are the greatest food you can eat, while others will tell you that eggs are toxic. So what is the truth? Let me tell you the truth about eggs. Unlike any other food, eggs have a massive advantage. You can divide them into egg whites and egg yolks, and that makes a whole lot of difference. The egg white part of the egg is very healthy, very nutritious, and very good for you. The egg yolk can be dangerous in excess. You see, an egg has a lot of protein, which is very good for you, but it also has a lot of cholesterol and a lot of fat. And part of that fat is saturated fat. Saturated fats and cholesterol in combination are not good for your health. They contribute to clogging up your arteries. And so you have to be very careful. An egg has about 200 milligrams of cholesterol. Depending on the size of the egg, is it a large, extra large, jumbo egg, but on average, about 200 milligrams of cholesterol per egg. So it means that if you take one whole egg, let's say large to extra large, you're ingesting 200 milligrams of cholesterol. 2 eggs, and you have 400 milligrams of cholesterol. To give you some comparison, 100 grams of beef steak has 60 milligrams of cholesterol and about 4 grams of saturated fats. 100 grams of eggs, whole eggs, has about 400 milligrams of cholesterol and about 3 to 3.5 grams of saturated fats. Massive difference in cholesterol. If you take ribs, beef, ribeyes, for 100 grams of ribs, you have about 60 milligrams of cholesterol. For 100 grams of beef chuck, you have about 67 milligrams of cholesterol. So that means that if you're a really big eater and you eat about 500 grams of beef a day, half a kilogram, that's a large amount. With half a kilogram of beef, you will ingest about 300 milligrams of cholesterol. But with half a kilogram of eggs, which is how many eggs? Between 8 and 10 eggs, depending on the size. Half a kilogram of eggs, 500 grams of eggs, will give you 1,000 milligrams of cholesterol and about 15 grams of saturated fats. So that's the bad news. Lots of cholesterol in an egg and some saturated fats as well. For about 100 grams of salmon, you have about 55 milligrams of cholesterol. So if you had to eat half a kilogram of fish, of salmon every day, you would ingest about 275 milligrams of cholesterol. That's not much. It's less than an egg and a half. So for half a kilo of salmon, you have the same amount of cholesterol that you find in 1 egg and a half, not even a half, 1 egg and a quarter, 1 egg and a third. That's how much cholesterol you have in your eggs. And in terms of saturated fat, in 100 grams of salmon, you only have about between 1 gram and 3 grams of saturated fat, depending on the type of salmon, right? If you were to eat Atlantic salmon, wild salmon, yes, about 0.9 grams of saturated fat per 100 grams, less than a gram. So you see how much cholesterol and how much saturated fats you have in an egg. So that's the bad news. Now the good news, eggs are probably the only food product that you can easily separate into 2 parts, egg yolks and egg whites. You crack an egg and you separate them instantly. All the cholesterol, all the saturated fat, and in fact all the fat is in the egg yolk because it is an animal embryo that has been aborted. An egg yolk is an animal embryo that has been aborted in the middle of its development, and so it remains an egg yolk. And so all the animal cholesterol, all the animal fats, all the animal saturated fats are concentrated in the egg yolk. The egg white is completely free of any cholesterol or saturated fat, or fat for that matter. So the egg yolk has all the saturated fat, all the fat, all the cholesterol. The egg white has 0 cholesterol and 0 saturated fats. And so are eggs good for you? That's the good news. Egg whites are excellent for you. 0 cholesterol, 0 saturated fat, and plenty of proteins. In fact, there's more proteins in the egg whites than in the egg yolks. And so you can eat 0.5 kilograms of egg whites, you will never raise your cholesterol. Because whether you eat 100 grams of egg whites, 10 egg whites, 100 egg whites, 1,000,000 egg whites, your cholesterol ingestions will always be zero. Your saturated fat ingestion will always be zero. Cheers. If you want to know more about eggs, please buy my book, The Truth About Eggs. Everything you ever wanted to know about eggs.